Shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is Monday. We got a new week. We got new opportunities to profit. We got a lot of playoffs going on. We got kind of a lighter MLB slate, but we're going to tackle a lot of these games and get this week started off right. But Dan, most of the time around here on this show, we're pretty positive. We're always in a good mood, and we just none of us are in a good mood today. Your 76ers get bounced. My Pacers get absolutely hosed. Gianni had to stay extra in rainy Newark. It's just not.
This is typically we're like, hey, let's start the week on a good foot. And welcome on in WagerTalk Today. We're here every single day, noon, whether we win, whether they lose. But typically we're like, hey, man, some good things happened over the weekend. Or, hey, man, let's start a new week. Today, we all come in. I look outside. It's gray. Gianni had to deal with that the entire time he was in Newark. Newark is constantly gray. Even when it's sunny, Newark is gray for what it's worth. Another New Jersey shot there, as we've been accustomed to. Coming up here on the show, folks, we do have free picks coming your way. Bill Krackomberger, one of the guys who's on the Mount Rushmore of sports betting right now. He's going to be breaking down an NBA prop for you here. Andy and I are going to get you your WagerTalk Today play of the day. Gianni will be here. He'll be letting us know what we're seeing. Like you kind of mentioned, even with our kind of bad mood that we're heading into Monday with, Andy, it's also like a weird MLB card tonight. But on that weird card, Steve Merrill, that's right, 2 R's, 1 L. He's going to break down 2 MLB games for you, give your free plays in both of them. Talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs as well. But yeah, man, typically we're coming in on a Monday saying, hey, let's start the week off on the right foot. And let's just start pissed off, Andy, because then the way we can look at it is only up to go. Let us know. Is your Monday going better than ours? Because we're in a pissed off mood, which hopefully means that we're going to be able to take it out on the books this week. But at least the ones making the lacrosse lines this weekend, Andy, they took it out on me. So I'm ready to go back to the well and take it out on them, brother. How are you doing on this Monday morning?
I'm not good. I haven't recovered from what happened to the Pacers. Dan and I have this document for each day of the week for the show notes and
for show prep.
No joke. I watched the lottery. It happened. I knew it was going to happen. You could just feel it was going to happen. And I just went to the liquor store and got a couple bottles of wine. And I was like, put me out of my misery. And Dan wakes up to a very long soliloquy about how
I'll tell you
got robbed and the conspiracy theory behind the drafting. Like I spent way too long doing the deep dive. But I got to tell you, Andy, it's a pretty compelling case.
The deep dive we'll have to hit towards the end of the show here because you need to break down what is. I don't even think you need a tinfoil hat. Like you're coming with the hard evidence here. And yeah, I woke up. I was like, Andy and I have our little prep doc because we like to be prepared for the show for all you viewers here. And I kid you not, Andy, I don't know when the last time you were in school was. You have a dissertation. This thing is bullet points formatted, ready for Andy's thesis on why the NBA draft is bullshit. So if you want that, hit the like button. Make sure that you hit subscribe as well. We'll be talking about it towards the end, but we'll tease that. Congrats on our man AWB. I was on that Penn State as well. Unfortunately, not for clients. Penn State, we'll talk about it later this week. I think they might be in for a tough matchup here against Princeton, but we'll talk about that. Let's talk about right now, Andy. 4 minutes in the show. Let's start it off with a winner, baby. Let's go. And we're going to Hachimura. Let's go.
Yep. We're going to Rui. You're getting a really good price on this. And the Lakers are very, very limited on offense right now. So we're going to take a look at Rui to go over 2.5 made threes. He's gone over in all 3 games this series. He's averaging 7 attempts per game in this series, and he's playing 38 minutes. And I mean, let's face it, the Lakers don't have many options on offense at this point. Austin Reeves is clearly not healthy or rusty or whatever it is, but he's just been awful. And LeBron can only do so much. Luke Kennard is, turned back into Luke Kennard, and Rui is going to get plenty of attempts. He's the one guy out there that's got size on the wings that can get some of these 3-point shots up. And the Thunder honestly don't seem too worried about him shooting threes. they've just kind of said, hey, we're going to shut down a couple of their key guys. And Rui doesn't seem to be the one that they're focusing on. This is a nothing to lose game for the Lakers. So expect Rui to just be firing away. So I expect them to go over 2.5. You're getting this at plus money. So play of the day is going to be Rui Hachimura over 2.5 made threes.
Yeah, and whether it's Rui Hachima or Hachimura, we're going over the 3 points.
I don't know. I just noticed the graphic, the AI.
But that's why I mentioned it, because the only comment would have been, it wouldn't have been when this thing hits and we're like starting off the week on a right foot, making it 15-6 on our Wager Talk Today play of days. The only comment would have been, the graphic said the wrong name. Yeah, Rui Hachimura. The only Roy that you could be betting on tonight is where we're going over the 2.5 3-pointers.
I got to be honest. I would totally be that guy. I'm the grammar police. Like bad grammar and punctuation drives me nuts. But let's bring in Gianni.
Yanni,
you're back.
We're turning the page, brother. We're turning the damn page. Let's go.
Yes. So glad to be back. Just a terrible trip. Awful couple days. It just wasn't a good time overall. And then when you couple it with losing, again, I tell you when I win, and I tell you when I lose. In the last week, a couple days, actually, I just got buried. That's the bottom line. And it was mostly the UFC card with heavy chalk that cost me my units. Because heading into this week, I'm actually very optimistic. I always check where I'm standing. And heading into this week right now in NBA, at double digit plus 10.1 ROI in the playoffs, doing really good in the NBA playoffs, doubled that in the NHL playoffs. I'm coming off a 5% loser, but I still have a over 20% ROI in those NHL playoffs. So the postseason's going exactly like we want it to be. But baseball, I'm still behind 11 games on bets under 500. But again, I think I've placed maybe 50, 60 baseball bets. And when the season's over, we'll have placed probably 10x that. So it's really early. That's why I'm optimistic. But again, that's why the steam room's so important, because I'm able to stress how important risk management is. Because I know a lot of my guys, if they weren't practicing risk management, if they just jumped on for the week, the day, the weekend, they got buried. And if you managed risk incorrectly, you're out of action. And that's my responsibility. I mean, I didn't come through. I didn't produce. But with that said, it's a small sample size. I can't control when someone jumps on or when they jump off, when they decide to bet. But what I can do is focus on the big picture. And that's one goal only. When December 31st comes around, will we be in that 0.5% of bettors that actually made money in 2026 betting sports? I think we will be. I think I'm heavily favored for that to happen. And again, fortunately, I have the long-term guys that are partnered with me. But I know for those guys that are looking for the hot hand, they're probably not looking at my stuff, which is the wrong thing to do. Because that's when you want to jump on. Long-term winner on a cold streak, once you see that start to flip, that's when you want to jump on board. Kind of like a good stock when it breaks out. You don't want to miss the breakout. It's what you're looking at. We're about to break out. And tonight, here's what I got for you, Andy. I haven't fired yet, but they're already circled and ready to go. The packages will be up. They'll be up. NBA, we're going to be firing tonight. NHL, we're going to be firing tonight. And MLB baseball, we also have some baseball to get to also. So start the week fresh. Put the past behind us. Pay the bookies this week, because that's what I'm doing. I know I'm sending crypto out this morning. And work on getting it back, baby. That's it. That's all we can do. Oh, 2 free pays. I just released 2 soccer bets in Czech Republic. Both are 4% bets. Both are free up at WagerTalk for you. I just sent them to subscribers, so those numbers are readily available. Like while you guys were talking, I was sending those out. 2, both in Czech Republic, both 4% at WagerTalk. Follow Fade. The info's there.
Yanni, I'll be honest, live betting in UFC has been the savior, and even live betting is not that
good for you.
But it wasn't that great this Saturday. Like I lost. This is the first time I've lost live betting. This card just was brutal. We made a big live bet on Rebecca and Grant Dawson to go the distance, and then Dawson pulls out a sub with 12 seconds left in the fight. You're just like,
you can't do anything. You can't do nothing.
Right?
You can't do nothing.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's one of those. But let's talk about some of the lines here. If we want to tackle MLB at first, light card. We'll break down a couple of the games specifically more in depth later. But what are we seeing on the line move?
Yeah, let's get over Major League Baseball quickly, because then there's the playoffs. And like you said, it's a small board, but already action. Start off with 9:03, LA and Cleveland. They went under 8.5 overnights and then under 8 as well. That's why you're looking at 7.5. So those numbers are gone. But Baltimore's getting a ton of steam and follow through against the Yankees. They started betting them at plus 165. And because the Yankees being such a public team that gets money every night, they can't over adjust. So they were forced to adjust in 5-cent increments. And what I was watching it go from down to plus 165, plus 160, 155, 150. So they were taking all those 5 cents down on Baltimore over the Yankees. They went over 8 in Seattle, Houston, under 7 in Tampa and Toronto, and then took the plus 120 on Texas as well. So some of that was overnight, so you want to make sure you look for follow-through because it's a small baseball board. And, of course, NBA and NHL get most of the attention tonight.
All right, well, let's talk about NBA and NHL. One game NHL, 2 in this in the NBA. And I'm interested, are the Sharps, are they going, oh, let's be sneaky and take the Lakers to extend the series or maybe cover the spread? Or are they just going, nope, it's hammer time, baby. Thunder come out and wreck them.
Well, first NHL, because it's only one game, and immediately Sharp Money came out and bet Colorado, and that's what's expected because that's what the public's going to bet tonight. They're going to bet Colorado, but historically, teams in this spot have not done all that well. They go on to win the series historically about 75% of the time, but in this game, game 4, they usually have lost like about 6 out of 10 times. They don't get the job done, so they're up 2-1, and they're getting the money tonight from the sharp bettors and the public. The Sharps got down at minus 115, 120. That's the highest bets I saw on any account. And I'm sure the public's the ones that have been laying the 130s, 135s, 140s on Colorado. Also over at even money, over 6.5. Again, no surprise there because I've been talking about it. When it comes to playoff action, a lot of times it's simply seeing these groups get out ahead of the public and then deciding later on if, they come back with any take back. But they are on Colorado. They are on the over. Same thing as the public. Now, moving on to NBA. Detroit, Cleveland. Now, here's what's interesting about both these games tonight. These two matchups, 6 games we've seen so far. 3-0 for Oklahoma City. Detroit's up 2-1. Not a single underdog has covered so far. Favorites 3-0 in Detroit, Cleveland. Favorites 3-0 in Oklahoma City and the LA Lakers as well. Now, as far as the Oklahoma City situation, teams up 4-0, and we saw it yesterday with the Knicks, usually go on to win game 4. They usually end it tonight. In fact, close to 6 out of 10 times in all of the playoff rounds of the NBA, whether it's the first round or the finals, 6 out of 10 times. That team in Oklahoma City's position, they get it done tonight. More importantly, they just don't lose the series. I just had to be sure. And in the NBA playoffs, all rounds, first round through the finals, a team up 3-0 that was home for the series has never lost. It's happened 133 times, and all 133 times that team has gone on to win the series. So if you don't mind tiny returns, maybe mortgage that Oklahoma City to win the series, and you'll get a small return on that. But in that game, they're betting the over. They went over 213, over 214, and the public's betting it over as well. The public's also betting Oklahoma City. 7 out of every 10 bets are on Oklahoma City to finish it tonight. And again, that's what's happened historically. Cautious, the spread becomes the great equalizer. And as I said, favorites are 3-0 in that series. And now you're looking at a line of 11 and a half. Big adjustment, 3 points just off the last game. Now, Detroit, Cleveland. Detroit up 2-1 in that series. Cleveland trying to even it out. Nothing so far from the sharp batters. But what we have been seeing already, Cleveland money. They're betting Cleveland to even the series, and it's not surprising. Power rating-wise, I have them very close. I have Detroit as the 5th best team in the NBA. I have Cleveland as the 7th best team in the NBA. Difference being Detroit's top 5 defense, Cleveland's top 5 offense. So 2 different strengths for these teams. And Cleveland had the tougher strength of schedule. Again, they're getting the money from the public tonight. Hasn't been reflected in the betting line, but I'm seeing juiced at 3.5 at some places, not wanting to go to 4. 4 is actually one of those numbers that matter in the NBA. So they are betting Cleveland. That's what the public's doing. We'll see if the Sharps get involved later. But mostly it's been, like I said, on player props, team totals, second halves, live in-game. That's mostly where they've been getting down the majority of their money.
We have an interesting question here about this, about the White House card, that lines are already out on this. And I got to be honest, outdoors terrifies me. We do not know what the weather is going to be like. Like if there's just like a massive like heat wave that comes through or something, these guys are going to be so sweaty and so like, and even if it's a little bit cold, does that throw things off? I hate the outdoor element. There's been legendary stories. I am going to pull the WWE wrestling card out here. There's legendary stories about what happens when they try to do an outdoor show and what a disaster it can turn into. So do you have any thoughts about this outdoor card? Because it really terrifies me.
No, and it is, like you said, it's those unknowns that make it so difficult to deal with. I haven't really gotten involved or done anything myself. But again, it's everything you just touched on is what makes it so difficult and scary. And again, I don't know, we'll see what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm planting my flag. I ain't betting anything until I know
exactly.
What's
There's no rush. There's no rush.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just be careful. Be careful. Look up they did a full documentary about that WrestleMania that they did in LA, where it was just like blazing hot and like it was just an absolute nightmare. So all right, what do you have up for everyone, Gianni?
All right. So far the no package is up because it's a small board, but I am going to have my NBA pass because I have it confirmed 4%. In fact, there's 2 4% at least in there. We are getting involved in the NHL also. Again, both NBA playoffs and NHL have been very profitable. Packages will go up. I'm not going to put out the Steam sheet because I just shared everything, and I doubt there'll be much additions between now and first pitch. So that'll be everything for today. And again, let's start off the week doing a little bit of damage, recovering some units that we dropped over the last week, and day by day move forward. Manage risk correctly. That's the key. And the dust will settle in December, and we'll find out how we did. All we could do is make good choices today to be rewarded tomorrow, brother.
Love it, Gianni. Let's get back on track. Let's get some positive vibes going. Gianni the Greek, everybody, joining us on a Monday. Yeah, mixed bag of
I feel
results.
a little bit better. I'll be honest. I feel a little bit better after Gianni.
We'll get there. So mixed bag of results for us over the weekend. Dan, yeah, you had a losing lacrosse weekend. It's like I can't even remember the last time that we did it. We did hit our 5% golf play. That helped a lot. One thing I'm excited about, 3-0 to start WNBA. We're seeing WNBA really, really well. And Ski said it, and it was like, if we can have a better read on these teams than the books do, and these books are putting out vanilla numbers and our reads are correct, we can start off the season with a banging start. And we did. So 3-0. No WNBA games tonight, but we'll look over the lines and we'll have some plays. But there's some bad teams, Dan. There's some bad teams.
And that's the thing too, is early on in the season, it's great when you feel like, hey, I'm seeing it right out of the gate. Cause I feel like sometimes, if you stumble a little bit, then you're a little bit trepidatious to fire, you know what I mean? So Andy, I think the difference is what Ski said as well. The preparation, if you're preparing for these lesser leagues, and let's be real, for like bettors, WNBA is becoming less and less of a lesser league. You know what I mean? Like this is something that is a lifeblood for some bettors, heading down the stretch here when you get into the summer months. So seeing it well right out of the gate. Thank God for that 3-0 start to WNBA, because that was maybe the one thing that kept us off, completely losing our mind over the weekend. That's for sure, Andy. But as we're in bounce back mode, you mentioned no WNBA. We still have PLL coming this weekend for the lacrosse department. We also have the NCAA quarterfinals, which I think we may have some opportunities in this weekend as well, Andy. So that's what's coming later in the week. Bounce back mode for us here, though. What are we looking to fire on tonight and moving forward a bit?
I mean, we already got we have 4 plays that are up for tonight. We got a couple NBA and we already have 2 MLB plays. So yeah, we got 4 best bets that are up there, 4% NBA play. And the 4% NBA plays have been really, really good. 12-6 for it's like 17 units or something. I'll have to look exactly what it is, but I know it's 12-6 on 4% best bet. So just firing one a night. We've had a good read on these props. So we keep plugging away. We got a tennis play that's going right now. And this will be a week of tennis doubles plays, probably the next couple days. So if you're all access, keep your eye on these because they're over in Rome. So they're starting at really weird times. So I'll probably have a play or two tonight that starts at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something like that. So, but I would like to ask John in the chat, would he care to make things interesting? So I gave my Rui Hachimura, and because John doesn't like me, he said, no, the better bet is Duncan Robinson. He didn't say I like. He's like, no, I'm better than you. Here's the better bet. So, John, would you like to make it interesting? I'll go head-to-head with you. Who has more three-pointers? Duncan Robinson.
Oh, I like it. Nice and simple. We're not even talking over-unders. We're just Duncan Robinson versus Rui Hachimura. Who has more three-pointers? So if he wins, if Duncan Robinson has more, we'll give him a free 3-day flex pass. If Rui Hachimura has more, he then has to purchase a free 3-day flex pass. That sound good?
John, let us know in the chat if you're interested. We'll have a little fun tonight. Give us some real rooting interest. Give me some rooting interest on Duncan Robinson. I don't have any. So, all right. Let's bring in Bill because Bill. I mean, this day was made for you, Bill. Like, it's just
we're starting the week pissed off, Bill. Are you going to be the one bringing the positivity? How we feeling on a Monday morning, man?
I mean, I had another winning week, but I'm still not always the rainbow sunshine lollipops.
That's why we love it.
Yeah, no, but what Gianni was talking about over there in Newark, and I just flew into Newark 2 weeks ago, so I know. And growing up on the Jersey Shore and in the Bronx and stuff in New York in general, it's cloudy every day. I said it on my podcast. It's like cloudy, overcast. We only get a couple days of sunshine back there. It seems like a month, and there's a real thing called seasonal mood disorder, and that you need to see sunshine and positive rays and positive energy. So I was in Atlantic City a couple days. It's not really too easy to be gloomy there, to be honest with you. Just go out and drive on the streets and in between the potholes and the the crowd there. Like I said on my podcast, you go along Atlantic Avenue there, and if the sun goes down, you're taking your life in your own hands. Only steps from these multi-billion-dollar casinos. Real nice what they've done. For the last 40 years, almost 50 years. But yeah, so anyway, I do understand that, though. It's really easy to, and especially if you lose a bet or two or a game you had a bad beat or something. I get it. It's easy to fall into those traps. But actually a good positive week for me again last week, 19-14 NBA props is. I always say, I know everyone wants to bet on sides and totals, and it's fun to bet on NFL sides. It's fun to bet on NBA sides, but I just feel that it's such an efficient market. And though playoff time, that you really get a better feel because it means so much more to the players. So lineups are going to be much more openly known by the public, whereas the regular season you just don't know who's going to play or whatever. So, but NBA props again is where it's at. 10-5 on them, and very widely available numbers at many different sports books. I usually use a combination of BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel. They have 85% of the market, a little bit more, 88% of the market share. So I have to go by them. I don't just give out a line that play this one, it's at Bet365, or play this one, it's at Hard Rock, Florida. I see a lot of other people doing that. I know it's just not what I do. I'm going to give out an obtainable line. Yes, yes. I'm not going to have the record on a win on a lot of these things that people have say that they won on, because my guys can't bet at that sports book. I'm going to give you an obtainable line, an obtainable number. That's what I do. Again, honestly, I hate to sound so destroying it. I talk about it all the time. I'm a broken record. I understand. I told you all, get on board for Super Bowl, get on board for March Madness, get on board for NBA props. Here we are, and I would stick to that. We still have a while here in the NBA, and right around the corner, preseason football, and of course those juicy NFL props. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm kind of up to, and it's here in Vegas, we have many different situations and many different sports books here where I am not allowed to play at because I've been thrown out for winning, but the customers are. So they can play stations, which is I'll tell you what, even if you just come to Vegas, people that are listening here, and I don't even care about subscribing, even if you just come to Vegas, you should have an arsenal. If you're a serious bettor, and by the way, when I say serious bettor, $100. If you bet $100, that's a serious bettor. So you should come here and you should have an arsenal of sports books, even if you're just coming in for a 3-day weekend. If you're staying by the strip there, you have the sports book that you're in, but you should also have some other sports books like stations, which again, I'm not allowed to play. Boyd Casinos on their app. You should just have them funded, because there's a lot of different line sets that you're going to find half point differences. And even if it's a prop, over 20 and a half compared to over 20 points, whatever points, rebounds, though those numbers come into play. These numbers hit. So I recommend anyone to do that. If you're a serious bettor, $100 or more. If you're just doing this socially to have some fun, use your local guy, whatever, and then it's not for you. You're just doing it socially. Like my wife goes out and shops, or people go on vacation, or people spend money on fancy things. I understand it's just a social thing, but if you're serious, you should have more than one out in your arsenal. So there's a little bit of advice for everyone out there, guys. And yeah, I do believe in something else too, guys. I had the show on here in the background with my camera off, just listening. I know that I've been around so many guys that are model building, analytical guys, the sharpest syndicates in the world I've worked with. And I know math is math, but I still believe, maybe that's that New Yorker in me. I still believe in positive energy. I still believe when I go into something with the mindset of a winner, of positivity. I do not go in the mindset of, oh man, let me try to grind, let me try to get some money back. No, no, absolutely not. You have to be positive about things. I think it really helps to be positive about gambling wise too. When I go into a casino, if I'm going to choose to play something, I go in thinking, okay, this is great. I'm in a great mood. I'm going to kill this place. And by the way, if you do see me gambling in the casino, I'm doing a little stealing, because I do not gamble on. I'm not saying I gamble illegally. I'm not cheating, but I'm not gambling on something that I don't have the edge in. Whether it's promotions, cash back, upfront money, casino comps, low hold video poker when they're giving away gift cards or something. If you see me gambling on something, you can guarantee it's an edge. So you're welcome to stop and ask me too. I don't care.
Yeah, no, the Twitter videos tell that too. Before you were here with us on Wager Talk, followed on, and hey, walking around the casino floor, check out these slots right here. And the tip that you gave out, it's great stuff, and it's for folks, whether you're heading out to have a good time or you're doing it seriously. It's good information to be armed with, Bill. Also, you talked about the power of positivity. So let's go on the positive step forward, and let's all ride a player prop together with you tonight, Bill. You got anything that we should be firing on for the folks here? NBA, MLB, what are we thinking we should fire on tonight?
I will give you that, but give me 1 second. You said something about Twitter.
Yeah.
Yesterday I posted 3 videos. I got a total of 1.8 million views yesterday. I'm really blessed to have a good following, and I post interesting things. So one I posted was a gambler collect 1.3 million in cash at the Bellagio book, and there it is. It's this. I posted this. I reposted it with because this guy took all the cash and put it in a suitcase and walked outside, like walking around. I know he's got bodyguards with him, and I just said, it's very dangerous to walk around with a suitcase full of cash like that. And I know he has security, but usually the security is the ones you have to worry about. To be honest with you, they're the ones they're your boys, your buddy, your entourage. Meanwhile, they're making phone calls to someone to come jack you in the parking lot, and you know exactly where you wait when you leave, when they're gonna follow you. Trust me, this is street smart stuff. This is stuff
Yeah.
that you can't learn being a social media influencer without something happening to you, or without having this common sense. So nothing against the kid. He actually tipped. I like that. He took care of the girl behind the counter, who's one of the greatest clerks in Las Vegas. She is one of the greatest sports writers. Whatever she makes is not enough, because she's so friendly to everybody, and it's really tough to do that job. So anyway, a couple of videos yesterday. I put some videos on my off my podcast. Another video I put up there was, how about this luck? I told this guy never to gamble again, guys. He goes into a Circle K. He asked for $85 in lottery tickets, and he pulls out his money. He's like, "Oh man, I thought I had eight. I thought I had more money on me." He goes, "Just give me 60." And don't worry, he gave 60. He picked the 60 of the 85. Well, of the 25 remaining, one of them won 12.8 million. So that guy better just not gamble again. I mean, that's how bad of luck you have. So now there's a big lawsuit, whether it's the store that keeps it, the manager that bought the tickets, of course, after he knew they won, or the guy that said, I was going to come back with that money tomorrow. So now there's someone putting a claim in. It's actually kind of funny. But anyway, I try to follow my Twitter. I kind of put some fun stories up there, put some real stuff up there of what's going on in the gambling world, and especially off of my beat and my 30 plus years of gambling, most of it for professional gambling. All right, so like I said, it's been a good playoff rounds for me. Good second round. Pistons, Cavs, big one tonight. Timberwolves, Spurs. These are really interesting series that I was actually one I have a future on Minnesota. I don't really think I had a shot on it, but to see Minnesota win, that gave me a little hope here. Still, so anyway, still though, OKC. I mean, they look just so indestructible, even without the second best player. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
doing unbelievable. Hands down, the best defense. Okay, so let's give a prop out tonight. Cleveland versus Detroit. I always make sure that these are available. I checked about 2 hours ago. All right, Jared Allen, points assist. I know I'm doing that, but I'm just looking at the points assist. Got over 13.5 minus a quarter. Good. Over 13.5 minus a quarter. Jared Allen, points assist. Going with his over. They've really found something with him in the last two games, scoring 18 and 22 in both of those. Look for him to get more in the paint touches tonight, and which will be a game that comes down to the fourth quarter, where at least I'll know he'll be in there. And so there's another prop, killing props on the season. Allen over points and assists over 13.5 minus a quarter. That's for tonight, guys. There's a freebie. It's nice to always give a freebie to people too, especially something that I'm hot at and something that I win on long term. That's the main thing.
Squad ride tonight. Jared Allen over. I'm with you, Bill. Let's ride, brother. Positive thinking. Rest of the week. That's the mantra, Bill. Hey, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you again next week. Best of luck till then, brother.
Thank you, guys. Good luck, everyone. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Bill Krackomberger, and as he mentioned, follow him on X or Twitter, as it's affectionately known. Because if you type in Twitter to your browser, it still takes you to the same site, Andy. It's Bill Crackman, at Bill Crackman. You can follow Andy at Bump Sports. You can follow me at Newbie Talks. But I like that. Thoughts on the Jared Allen prop? Any opinions on any Celtics players? Or excuse me, Cavs players?
Yeah, I like that Bill does well with props. I've been writing kind of the same guys, and Jared Allen has not been one of them. So I haven't really been paying attention to his props, but the same game parlays have been money in this series. I just recorded prop line, and we do our same game parlay of the day, and there's been like Donovan Mitchell to hit 2+ 3-pointers has been great. Tobias Harris to go over his points has been great. The under on the alt line 229.5 has been great. Just rinse and repeat. That's how you do it with the props market. Like when you get these guys that get on a roll in the playoffs, even in the regular season, more so in the playoffs, just you don't overthink it. Like you don't need to crunch numbers for hours and hours and hours. You're like, oh yeah, that guy keeps hitting 2 3-pointers. That guy goes over his points and assists. That guy goes over his rebounds, assists. Like you don't need to find too many of these streaks to, make a killing. We found one last night, Jacob Trouba. He's been going way over his shots on goal. The books haven't adjusted. They're leaving it at 1.5. But again, how many people are betting Jacob Trouba shots on goal props? Probably not many, but that's where that's where the best lines are at. So
that's a very good question here from Brian Hatt. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to. Check out that same game parlay video from our man Andy Lang. He does it every single day. It's been a great video. It's been a fun one to ride with. But if you have any questions on Tobias Harris, we're going all around the world a little bit later. So stay tuned for that, because right now, waiting in the wings, one of our favorites here, one of the most popular on the channel, as he gives you every single NBA game. Steve Merrill ain't scared, for free here. Make sure you're subscribed. Steve, I love those videos, whether I put up the right teams in the graphics or not.
We felt bad about it. I wasn't even upset about that. I thought you took it a lot harder than I did.
Hey, anything worth doing, Steve, is worth doing right. So anytime I have a chance to call myself out on air, I'm going to do it, Steve.
Yeah, Andy, just to fill Andy in on, so Saturday's video was Thunder at Lakers, and I didn't even notice, but I guess, and we hustled. I got it to him late on Friday evening, and we're shorthanded this week in the staff, and Dan, of course, does a great job getting it up, and I didn't even notice until I saw a couple comments on Saturday. It said. It said Thunder -8.5 at Timberwolves, and someone's like, "They're not playing," and what the
Maybe
one I
sent know
Dan
the future.
Well, that's the thing. The one I sent Dan was like, just letting you know, I didn't think we could change it because it was a graphic. It wasn't like a header.
No.
And then, but then I read some more comments after that, Dan. I realized there were people like, "They're not playing. What is this?" And I felt like going, "Yeah." I talked about the game for 6 minutes. I think we all know what the game was. Like, who cares? But the positive thing, though, Dan, is that at least we know they're looking at the graphics. They like
that's
the graphics,
my thing.
I guess. So I was like, not a bad thing.
And there's still human beings grinding here behind the scenes. So, Steve, the way that I looked at it, I was like,
10 extra comments, right?
That's what I said. YouTube don't know
that's
that
exactly
like,
what
hey.
Dan said.
So
I think Dan did it on purpose. I think he did it on purpose.
Hey, you'll never know, and I'll never tell, Steve.
No, but I did put foreshadowing in one of the comments, and then we see Wemby get ejected. By the way, it's 8 minutes ago now, but I saw it at 12:30 Eastern. 8 minutes ago, they just announced he's not going to be suspended for Game 5, so he is listed as probable, and we're going to be doing that video this afternoon. So I was waiting for that information because, do the videos in advance for people. Why don't you talk about yesterday's results? As I've said 1,000 times, when the videos are being posted before the games start, I obviously recorded them ahead of time, so it's kind of hard.
And as longtime viewer Rob says here, Steve, the comment section is always so understanding, and hey, all joking aside, we love everyone who interacts with the channel, and we appreciate everyone, because Steve and Andy, we wouldn't be nearing, 250,000 people subscribed if it weren't for the folks in the
and think about it.
All joking aside.
Yeah, 10 to 15,000 views on every one of these videos, 247,000 subscribers, and we get maybe 3 knuckleheads in the comment section out of maybe 300 comments. So when you do the math, it really is like a 99% awesomeness rate. So, which is pretty remarkable. So we do love the comments. We do read them. We reply back. And there's some great insight as well. And I'll throw this out to you, Andy, because you're the prop master. I talked about this in my Game 4 videos tonight because I've got both Pistons, Cavs, Lakers, Thunder. And that Thunder game is tough. I mean, it'd be Thunder or pass for me, but I'm not in a hurry to lay 10.5, 11. But how about this prop? And I don't think it's available anywhere, but you dig deeper than I do. Can you find any Bronny James? Not LeBron. Can you find me some Bronny James props? Because here's my theory. He played 15 minutes in Game 4 against Houston after playing like 4 minutes in all the other games. He appeared in the game the other night. He actually had his only points in the series. Doesn't it make sense, like if they've tapped out, they might give daddy and son a little extra court time together tonight? I don't know. Is there a way to play that angle?
Father's Day special.
How do you like that?
I do not see any props for him.
I don't either.
I don't think they're out there. But last series there were props out on because they kind of needed him. They were so short-handed. He was a warm body, which they were really struggling with. So.
A warm body.
They did.
I thought of you though. This is like
the
pregnant golfer's wife or the UFC guy that's been retired. It's the warm body theory. I like that. That's a great prop angle. Bet the over on the warm body theory. Well, they played 13 guys, by the way, I think. Or no, the Thunder played 13 guys on Saturday. SGA has gone 23 or less in all 3 games. Technically, their second best offensive player, Jalen Williams, has not played in the series. and they've won all 3 games by double digits. The Lakers have led the last 2 games, including halftime on Saturday, and they're at plus 8.5 and still didn't cover. I mean, I don't know. We all know Bizarro World, right? And Wemby getting ejected was a little shady, but then again, the Knicks series is over. That was a sweep. So maybe they can't control this being – I think they can't control it being a sweep. It'd be Thunder or pass for me. It's a big line, though.
One of the best calls I had over the weekend, we were doing our live UFC show. I was watching the basketball game, and I was like, what's this line going to be? I think we took the Thunder money line at like minus 270. It was like, you think they're going to lose to the Lakers just because they're down a couple points at halftime? Then they covered the original spread.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. And think about it, too. The Lakers were up at the half. They got outscored by like 13 in the third. And then they got outscored, I think, by double digits in the fourth is why they didn't cover. So it's like, if they didn't fight at that point, you think they want to go back to Oklahoma? It's like none of it makes any sense. Yeah, it's an ugly situation, but it's never as obvious. The Rockets are down 0-3, and then they come back and win the next 2. The difference, though, is that the Rockets were the favorite in that series, and they were competitive, and it's like the Lakers, and like I said, SGA's not even played big minutes or big points. And then the other thing, too, the Lakers shot 47% from three-point range in Game 3 the other night. And they still lost by double digits.
Yep.
And they got the other thing I was spot on, by the way, in the Game 3 video, and Dan will remember this, is that they met at half court after the Game 2, and they talked to the officials. We all knew they were going to get the calls. They had a 25-10 free throw attempt edge. The Thunder only got to the line 10 times. SGA got there 7. He usually gets there 10 alone. So you have a plus 15 free throw attempt edge. You shoot 47% from 3, and you still lose and don't cover by double digits.
Demoralizing.
Why am I not using the best bet on the Thunder? The more I'm talking about this,
I think you just talked yourself into it.
I know.
That's what I mean. You said, I'm gonna lay it or I'm not gonna play it. I mean, all signs point that way. We know it's not that easy, Steve, but yeah, man, this round of the NBA playoffs, first round I think was awesome. A lot of back and forth affair. Really, the only intrigue that we're looking at here is this Spurs and T-Wolves series. So
yeah, which we
that's a little.
Thought.
Exactly. No one would have. That one was another one that you were thinking was a Thunder and Lakers series. So I think, even if you talk about the Knicks and what their dominance over the Sixers, that was something that maybe wasn't as expected. I didn't think the Sixers were going to go and beat them, but a lot less intrigue in this round than we've kind of seen in the previous round. And we'll see if that continues. But if you want breakdowns on every single game, hit that subscribe button because Steve does every single one right here on the channel. Steve, let's pivot. Let's talk the Diamond here tonight. You got a pair of games, and folks will have time to get to these because they are both late night specials. We got one going after 10 o'clock, one going in the 9 o'clock hour. We got the Mariners and Astros. We got the Giants and Dodgers, a little in-state rivalry. And then the Houston Astros looking to open up a 7-game homestand here against the Mariners. Road chalk. When we used to do the MLB show, Steve, we would talk a lot about road favorites on Mondays. And I don't know. I want to get your breakdown on this one because this feels like they got the right team favored, in my opinion. What say you?
I agree. I like Seattle in this game. I would lay the $1.35, $1.40 range in this one with the Mariners. And also, as far as the scheduling goes, both teams were on the road this weekend. I think that actually favors the road team. Seattle's going from Chicago to Houston. Meanwhile, Houston is returning home from a 3-game trip in Cincinnati. So I don't think that's any kind of an edge. Both teams are traveling back home, and then they have the distractions of settling back in. So I like the setup here for Seattle. Both teams playing around 500 baseball over the past couple weeks. But overall this season, the Astros are just 16-25. Yes, Mariners are below 500 as well, but I think they're the better overall team. And I like the pitching edge here as well with George Kirby on the mound. I project a good outing today, and tonight, and he's been really good against this current Houston lineup. The current Houston lineup tonight is just 14 for 68, a 206 batting average career against Kirby. Meanwhile, Lambert, the starter for the Astros, I project him to have a weaker start. I have his ERA tonight around 4.7. Kirby's is around 3.2. So I like the pitching matchup. I like the scheduling situation, and neither team is in very good current form offensively, so that's kind of a wash. If you're going to play it here, I would lay it with the Mariners, currently minus $1.35 to $1.40 to shop around. And if you want to get a little aggressive with some plus money, you could take a look at them on the run line, minus 1.5 plus 120. I'd be careful with that, though, just because, as I said, they're not hitting the ball well. In fact, they've scored just 1 run in their last 2 losses. The Astros have scored 1 run total in their last 2 games on Saturday and Sunday. So I would just play the money line here, minus the 135 with Kirby over Lambert. That's at 8:10 Eastern, Seattle at Houston.
All right, Steve, how about this other game that we introduced there, this San Francisco and Dodgers game? Because sure, the Dodgers are still the Dodgers, but they could use a little bit of spark at the plate, man. That series against, and albeit against the Braves, that was something that I think all baseball fans were watching. This is a great matchup, 2 of the best teams in baseball facing off. But in that series, back-to-back games where you saw just a total of 4 runs from the Dodgers, something that we have not been accustomed to with this offense. So now they host the Giants here in a little series here. So what are you looking for in this game, Steve? But also thoughts on the series. We think the bats come back alive here for the Dodgers. What are you thinking?
Yeah, the Dodgers are still the best team in baseball. They're a dominant team. They're a loaded lineup. And whenever we can kind of buy low with the Dodgers, I think it's worth a look. And I say that because they're just 9-11 their last 20. That was after a 15-5 start. They've just 4-6 their last 10. That was after a 20-10 start. So, after that 20-10 start, they're on a pace to win about 107 games, 67%. Now they're at 60%, 24-16. That'd be 97 wins on the season. So they're kind of in that sweet spot where they should be. I look for them to maybe be a play-on team here over the next few weeks, depending on the matchups, of course. And I have no problem fading the Giants, who are just 16-24 on the season, just 3-7 their last 10. They did win an extra inning game at home against Pittsburgh, and now they travel. Not a big road trip, San Fran down to L.A. I've driven that a couple times, and as Dan will tell you, you go through country, farmland, avocados, artichokes, and maybe avocados, but artichokes and tomato farms. Bakersfield. The first In-N-Out burger I ever went to was somewhere around Bakersfield. I kept looking for chips. I wanted to see CHP officers. I finally saw a Chippy. That made my day. Other In-N-Out burgers in Vegas behind the Bally's. That's a little hidden In-N-Out burger. But I regress. I like the Dodgers here. I don't think the scheduling spot is great for the Giants, even though it's a short road trip, because they did have an extra inning win yesterday after the blowout loss to Pittsburgh on Saturday. Dodgers, meanwhile, stay at home after losing back-to-back games to the Braves on Saturday and Sunday. They did win Game 1 in that series, and we've seen them do this recently. They beat Houston in Game 1 and then dropped Game 2. So I look for a focus spot here tonight from the Dodgers. Pitching matchup, nothing great, obviously. Sasaki, a 6.0 ERA on the season, but I think he's actually due for a decent outing, and he should have some success against a mediocre Giant offense. And Trevor McDonald, he's pitched well this year, but it's only been 7 innings with a 1.3 ERA. So the line's a little bit lower than it would have been just a couple weeks ago based on recent results and also the pitching matchup. We'll take the Dodgers at home here. Current line is about minus 180. But as I always say, if you play the Dodgers, you're probably better off playing the run line, because when they win, they usually win by margin. Get that minus 180 all the way down to plus 110. I like the Dodgers run line even better, especially with the total of 9, because we should get some scoring. Or you can make a minus 1 run line. If you don't have one, you just put half on the money line at minus 180, half on it at plus 110. That gets you minus 1, minus 135. So Dodgers either minus 1, minus 135, or you could go for that plus money, plus 110 at minus 1.5. I look for the Dodgers to get back on track tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern.
Love it. Steve Merrill, WT.buzz/SM. And Steve, I know we just talked a little baseball action there, but doing all these NBA videos has prepared you well, as we're looking at a 109-80 against the spread during the regular season here that Steve has been rocking it here in MLB. You got one you got isolated tonight. They'll find that at your page, but what else are they going to find over there, Steve?
You also have a strong totals best bet. I know we talked a little bit about the sides in the one game, but we didn't talk to the totals too much. I do have a strong NBA over-under best bet in one of the playoff games tonight on Monday, and also a strong MLB best bet, as you just mentioned. So 2 games tonight, plus a bonus free play. The daily free play is always up there if you're building your bankroll, doing your own handicapping. So get the daily free play. Check out the strong best bets tonight, and also check out some special offers. Tonight, 1 day is $39. You can still get 3 days for $49. Get that second and third day for just $5 each, because as you know, tomorrow is $5 Tuesday. Everyone gets excited for single $5 plays. You can get the next 2 days for just $5 each with that buy 3 days for $49, or a 30-day plus 10 more days free, 40 days, and a $100 discount. Normally 30 days is $299. Nope, it's just $199, instant $100 discounted. To make it even better, I'm including 10 more bonus days. So 40 days for just $199. That gets it down to like $5 a day. or get it down to $3 a day, about $1 a play with the 1-year all-access pass with the instant $800 discount that's still available. No promo codes needed, and of course, it doesn't matter if you get one play, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. Everybody's getting my personal best bets, the same plays each and every day, and it's always been that way since I started 30 years ago. This August will be my 30th anniversary as a full-time professional bettor and sports handicapper. August of 96. It's been 30 years, and it's always been the same. If I'm using a game, I send it to my clients. 2 strong best bets tonight on Monday, plus the bonus free play. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And hey, get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
Steve, always a pleasure, man. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. And until then, folks, you want some more Steve? Hit subscribe. He's always dropping dimes on the channel. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. WT.buzz/SM. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Merrill. Andy, we're not done yet, though. We still have rants coming folks' ways. We also have to take folks around the world. I need your take on the NBA draft, but let's get some winners, unless you have anything to answer here in the chat.
No, let's do all around the world, and then yes, I will
do it.
I will.
Yes,
go on.
Yes, you will.
So
these notes are too good not to use at least some of them, man. But but somebody asked earlier, Tobias Harris. We're seeing 18.5 points. That's still out there. It's ticked up at some books. Are we still liking the over, no matter if it's 18, 19?
Obviously, 1 point doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. The handicap is he's scored 20 plus in 8 straight games.
Okay,
20, 21, and 21 in this series. He's shooting 47% from the field. He's making a couple threes per game. He makes over 4 free throws per game. I would not like the 19.5. You're getting a little bit too close to not having the best of the number. And yes, somebody brought up he doesn't have any assists. Like when he touches the ball, he's shooting, man.
Dies.
He's shooting. Yeah. So that I noticed that last night about how funny it is that he has like no assists. Like the number on his assists is like 1.5. That's how little he's passing it. So, and then we'll go to the Avalanche Wild. Gabriel Landeskog just keeps scoring points in all 3 games this series. Even the game they scored 1 goal, he was involved in the goal. So a point in 6 straight games. He's just on a really, really nice tear. So Landeskog over a point is a play to look at tonight. So that is your all around the world.
Love it, Andy. All right, man. I need it. I read through it already. If you're just tuning in here on the show, Andy and we prep for the show here, and I log in Monday morning, and I see damn near 20 bullet points of why the NBA draft not only is slightly bullshit, or the draft lottery, excuse me. Your Indiana Pacers have really been one of the worst benefactors of the ping pong era, and you got the receipts to back it up. So, Andy, I give you the floor. Induced by bottles of wine. What do we think about the NBA draft lottery?
Okay, so here was the situation. The Pacers traded for Zubac. They gave up a couple of picks and Mathurin and Isaiah Joe, whatever. The big crux was the picks this year, okay? If the pick was between 1 and 4, the Pacers kept the pick. If the pick was 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, the Clippers got the pick, okay? So the Pacers do what they're supposed to do, which is lose a bunch of games, and they come into the draft with one of the best odds ever to get a top 4 pick. They have one of the best odds to get the number 1 pick, let alone a top 4 pick. The worst case scenario is if they land on 5 and then the Clippers get a top 5 pick in the draft that I think we would say there's 4 to 5 really potentially transform. I don't say transform franchises, but pretty close to that. So what happens? First off, they do the ping pong balls like backstage, and they come out and they're like, these 2 people are the only ones that got to see the results. And I'm like, oh, I already know where this is going. Right then and there, I just knew we were going to be 5 and we were going to lose the pick. So I did a deep dive. So why did these teams get in this order? And there's a reason for every single one of them. So we'll start with the Washington Wizards. What did the Washington Wizards do? Well, they did solids to the NBA. They trade for Anthony Davis, who can't play without goggles now, and then they trade for Trae Young, who's killing the Hawks. The Hawks get better, so the NBA says, "Thank you very much for doing that." Wink, wink. You get the number 1 pick. Okay, the Utah Jazz. They tanked worse than anybody. But last year, after the draft, they came out, oh, we're not tanking anymore. We're going to try and win. So they get Ace Bailey last year and Danny Ainge. And by the way, his Nepo son, Austin Ainge, that guy can go fly a kite. NBA gives him a top 4 pick because Danny Ainge goes, look what I did in Boston with Tatum and Brown. So they get the pick. Who gets the next pick? The Memphis Grizzlies. Who did they trade? Jaren Jackson. Who did they trade him to? The Utah Jazz.
Yep.
And guess what? Picks were involved in that trade. Isn't it a little weird that no picks in this year's draft were involved? It's like 2027, 2031. Why? Because they worked together and the NBA is like, don't worry, we got you covered. Thank you for trying to improve each other. You guys get some top 4 picks. Now you get the Bulls. Huge market, terrible ownership. They can't get anything going. They have 2 pretty good players outside of Josh Giddey, Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. They randomly trade him to 2 teams that could really use him. Why would Kobe White go to Charlotte? Why would you help a team in your conference? Why? Because Charlotte is exciting. They bring in good ratings, so he trades him there. Ayo gets traded to Minnesota for no effing reason. Why? To help Anthony Edwards in San Antonio. And by the way, look at what Ayo's doing in the playoffs. That series is tied 2-2. NBA says, thank you very much for doing us a solid. You help improve some teams. We're going to improve yours. Here's a top 4 pick. Now, why do the Clippers get this pick from Indiana? Why would the Clippers be in the good graces of the NBA? They just got caught paying Kawhi Leonard to be a fake landscaper, millions of dollars, completely broke the rules, but there's absolutely no punishment whatsoever. Then it hit me. Have you seen this stuff coming out about how basically all the NBA arenas are just gigantic surveillance domes? This Clippers new stadium, everything is facial recognition. And it turns out when you sign into their Wi-Fi, they have a team that is downloading your information and selling it. This is a real thing that's happening. They just did a big story about Madison Square Garden is doing the same exact thing. So NBA and Ballmer are working together to just basically track everyone's information. And look at the teams that didn't do favors for the NBA. The Nets, the Kings, and the Pacers. They're all outside the top 4. The Wizards did massive favors. The Bulls did massive favors. The Jazz and the Grizzlies are working together. The Clippers have a deal worked out with the NBA to sell customer info in exchange for protection on Kawhi Leonard's situation. The Pacers are the only team in NBA history to have never had a number 1 draft pick and never have had a number 1 overall pick play for them. 37 years in a row in the draft lottery. 37 years, the Pacers have never moved up from their random expected position. 37 times they have
statistical anomaly.
They moved down. That is impossible. It's impossible. Oklahoma City had the team that's waltzing into the finals has 2 picks in the first round. We have none. It's preposterous. The second the Pacers were fined in the regular season, you knew something was up. 10 teams are tanking. We get fined. Where's the fine for the other teams? Where's the fine for everyone else? And then the Pacers come out and said something like, "This is bullshit." Immediately, right then and there, you knew they were going to lose this pick. It's ridiculous. Just follow the breadcrumbs. This is not a coincidence that 2 out of the top, like, was it 3 out of the top 4 teams that should have gotten in the top 4 are out of there. It's so infuriating to see where the Pacers should be. Now, was the trade stupid? Yes. The trade was a stupid trade. Even the guy that made the trade said, sorry, I rolled the dice. It didn't work out. Our franchise is set back 10 years because of this nonsense. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. So starting with them doing the ping pong balls behind closed doors. Are you serious, Dan?
That's NBA for you. That's everyone's like, oh, you just like you hate the NBA because the Sixers lose in the second round. No, I hate the NBA because it's just like if I wanted to watch predetermined crap, and I'm not saying the games, I'm saying crap like this, the whole Luka thing, and then Mavs get a pick. Yeah, sure, it didn't end up mattering, anything like that. But Andy, if I wanted to watch that, I would just turn on WWE. You know, and get some high flying Roman Reigns action. You know what I mean? Like that's my opinion. Is I got plenty of other time. I got plenty of other options. I would rather grind out baseball all summer than than grind and do the NBA. But at least the player prop's been working. That's all I care about, Andy. But honestly, I feel better now that you've gotten that off your chest, and I like it. I agree with Ed, who said FBI Lang. FBI Lang is on the case, Ed, and I'm with him.
Brian knows about this. If you guys haven't seen what they got caught doing at Madison Square Garden, it's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
It is terrifying what they're doing. And now this new Clippers arena, you have to like it's like you have to use your face to get concessions.
Yeah.
it's
that's normal.
Anyway, all right.
That's normal.
Okay. Woosah.
It'll pair well, Andy, with the cars that won't start when you get in them if you look panicked. So it'll pair very well with that, you know?
Dude, I got to tell you the story about 7 or 8 years ago. I have a buddy who's like really into conspiracy theories. It's great.
Love that. Everyone needs one of those friends. Everyone needs one of those friends to be like, dude, do you see this guy? Do you see what's up there?
Yes, I have two of them. All right. So about 7 or 8 years ago, we were talking about driverless cars. And I was like, I can't wait. I would love to do a road trip where I can just not drive and sleep when I want to sleep and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I'm never getting in one of those things. And I was like, why? Like, you scared of it wrecking? And he's like, no. What if I have parking tickets and I get in the car and it just drives me to jail?
It's a great point.
And we all just started laughing and laughing.
RoboCop.
Like, Anthony, you're crazy. And no, he wasn't crazy. He called it 8 years ago. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but we're not that far off. We're
not that far off at all.
And I stand correct. In fact, I'm going to call him this afternoon and tell him that.
You know what? We always say, if you made it this far in the show, hour-long show on Monday, that's how you know we're pushing this weekend behind us and we're moving forward. We always mention, hey, drop below in the comments. We have a random question for you. I want the comments to go wild. If you've made it this far in the video, like, subscribe, drop your favorite conspiracy theory in the comments.
Oh, God.
Below. Yeah, Andy, I'm going there. I'm going there. Favorite conspiracy theory. Drop it in the comments below. Because honestly, there's been a couple conspiracy theories, Andy, that ended up being true these past few years. So let's hear some of the favorite ones that maybe would be proven true here. Let's hear them. Let's hear them in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit
your favorite conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah. That's the question of the day, Andy. Drop it in the comments below.
All right, love it. I got to get going. Let's get this week started off right, guys. We got 4 plays. We got a tennis play. It starts here in 30 minutes. So let's get some winners going. Tomorrow's $5 Tuesday. We're not going to do the Let It Ride yet. We won our 5% golf play. We're going to hold off for the next big play. We'll pick it later in the week. We got to be in a good mental state and have some good vibes.
Andy, I know it's Monday. I will say I may have found our entry into the Let It Ride. I may have found I'm going to dive in. I'm not going to jump to conclusions here, but I think this weekend in the NCAA tournament for lacrosse, we might have our next ladder piece in the Let It Ride challenge.
All right, let's do it. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see where we're at. Good luck on your plays. Let's have a great Monday, and we'll see everyone tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care.